life, Satan tried to get me. Walking my shoes, devil trying to fit me. But he don't know I got the power fit me. Nah, he don't know I got that power. All my life, Satan tried to get me. Walking my shoes, devil trying to fit me. But he don't know I got the power fit me. Nah, he don't know I walk the power fit me. Let me have a seat.
Once again, this ended the Bench Media's latest episode of Rappin with hRap. You know who I am. You know what I do. What we're going to do this week is continue the conversation series where we're trying to bridge the gap between coast to coast, border to border. I am, again, hRap B. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that share, tell a friend, and tell a friend. If you're watching on the endofthebench.com, I want you to just watch, comment, be a part of the conversation, ask questions, be part of the conversation. It is a conversation, not a dissertation. Tonight, I have a couple moguls. I have an MC, a manager, a couple moguls. They're doing big things in the community. What we're going to do is find out who they are. We know where they're from. Here they are. These are two dope brothers. I need you to support, because without your support and my support and their support, we are just a couple people talking to each other. So I want to introduce you to these brothers, and we are going to get it cracking immediately. What's good, brother? How y'all doing, man?
Peace, King.
I'm good. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm always good, man. No such thing as a bad day. You got bad minutes in the day, throughout the day. You got moments, no bad days at all. Nice to have you brothers on, man. I'm going to change the view for the people. You know what? I'm going to introduce you first, DeMarr.
Yes, sir.
Brother from Massachusetts. Y'all know I'm from Illinois, Chicago, Illinois. Give me your background. We're going to go to your man, and then we're going to get it cracking.
Yes, sir. Real quick, man. DeMarr Langford Sr, man. I go by Code D in the music world, but I'm from Massachusetts, all over Massachusetts, first and foremost. Shout out to everywhere in Mass. But I was born in Brockton, raised in New Bedford, and I moved in Worcester. I've been in Worcester since, I'm not going to age myself, but I've been with Massachusetts right now, man. And, you know, I'm in love with this music. I've been in love with this music, man. I've been doing it for a long time. Music and sports is my thing. And we got a lot going on right now. We're going to cover a lot. But the goal right now is lifeguard, man. We pushing this lifeguard thing. You know, we live in life and we guards, man, and we doing it right. So it's a movement. And my guy Siahlaw got a lot of things in the chamber. And we're going to let some people know this year. So I'm COO of the label, and the label is Siahlaw Enterprise, and that's the movement, man.
All right, my man. That's what's up. Introduce yourself, good brother. Good to meet you. Thank you for giving us your time.
My name is Siahlaw. I'm from New Bedford, Mass. We call it New Beige, New Baghdad. I'm an MC, artist, and independent. We have an independent label called Siahlaw Enterprise, which I'm a CEO myself. We have Randy Seymour, who's the CFO of the label, and then we got DeMarr, who's the COO of the label. We got another brother, Chance, that's part of the label as well. But as you see, we're lifeguards in this thing. But Siahlaw Enterprise is the label, representing New Bedford, Massachusetts. But shout out to everywhere in Mass, Worcester, Boston, even the small towns. We here though.
Man, it's good to meet you guys, man. I'm glad y'all doing something, because I'm tired of people complaining about jobs. I'm tired of people complaining about people holding them back. Y'all taking the initiative to make things work for yourselves. So I'm proud of y'all. Y'all, me and you guys are on the same page. We are not going to allow the man, the system, and all of those other excuses that people put out there to slow us down. What I like to do is I start off every conversation, because it's not an interview. It's an interview per se, but it's a conversation between men in the community. What I'm doing here on Rappin with hRap is showing people, no matter what happens in your life, good, bad, or indifferent, if you put your mind to something, you can accomplish it. I've had people on here who are women of the night. I've had pastors on here. I've had professional athletes on all levels: football, baseball, basketball, historians, writers, in every other fashion of the world. What I want to do is make sure the people in our community nationwide, border to border, coast to coast, understand that we have more things in common than different. And if we can start this as a launcher point and spread the word throughout the country. That's exactly what I want to do. I start this off, everybody off with the same question. What's your oldest and most fond memory in life?
Oldest and most fond memory in life. As far as what, music or
anything. We're gonna start this because I want people to get to know you. Your story is important. A lot of people think their story is mundane, right? Your story isn't mundane because it's mundane to you because you lived it. It's tremendous to somebody who's in the mud right now, struggling to get out. They're in the mud to their neck, and you can inspire them. And that's what I want people to do on this program and on this platform.
Got you. I would say, you know, me and DeMarr, we grew up in the same projects. So my earliest memory, I would say, would be growing up where I came from, which is United Front Projects, and I remember just being young with the boys. And they had these tunnels that they transformed into maintenance offices because of the activities that was happening in the tunnels. Um, but yeah, that's my fondest memories is just being a young kid, um, riding on my bike with the mag tires. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
With
Yes,
the
indeed.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Somebody on the handlebars, you got the pegs in the back, and everybody's taking turns as far as like just going through these tunnels and just childhood stuff. And then you get in the tunnels and you got the older brothers doing all kind of Lord knows in there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Um,
Trust me, I understand. I'm from I was originally from the projects here in Chicago. So anytime somebody say, what's the most fun thing about doing this is every time I get somebody on here, no matter where they're from, South Carolina, LA, South Central Los Angeles, Baton Rouge, Massachusetts. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You guys in Massachusetts. We immediately connect by something from the hood, and it's a beautiful situation, and it continues to build this bond that I'm attempting to build. Now, you talk about the hood, talk about the projects. A lot of people think the projects is just full of debauchery, murder, mayhem. What people don't understand is, I used to live in a projects called Avalon Homes. Most people don't even know it's called Avalon Homes. In Chicago, it's called a village. And
okay.
And those are some of the most fond memories of my life. I just ran into one of the guys in that community today. Talk about the community that you're from, and you seem like you were about the same age. So remind people of the camaraderie that's in the projects versus the chaos and mayhem and danger that's there. That you had a whole, like each floor. I don't know about your project, but I'm sure, you know what, I do know about your project. Each floor was almost a whole nother community.
Definitely.
So talk to me about that. Each set of row houses was a whole community. Talk to me about that and let people understand that these things are going on border to border, coast to coast.
All right. So where I'm from, we got a heavy Cape Verdean community.
Okay.
So most of us where I'm from,
Hold
we're
up.
family.
Explain to the people who don't know, because I got friends who went to Roger Wilson Law School, right? So
Okay.
I'm familiar with Cape Verdeans. Let people know what Cape Verdean is. Let's start off there. Then we're gonna keep it pushing.
All right. So a Cape Verdean is a group of people that came from a group of islands called the Cape Verde Islands off the west coast of Africa. So we're African people, West African people. And a lot of us came to Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and on that piece, the Cape, or off Cape they call it, or on Cape, on a boat called the Ernestina. So where I'm from is mainly Cape Verdeans. We have Cape Verdeans and Puerto Ricans in the projects I'm from, and we had like some splashes of Portuguese families as well. So it's a melting pot. You feel what I'm saying? So Yeah, the beauty of it was you could go two doors down, and we call it a lean bay lady. You know what I'm saying? She was selling these little ices uh for 25 cents. You feel what I'm
I'm with
saying?
it.
She might have some pastelitos for 25 or for $1. You feel what I'm saying? Then we had uh the Creole, we had mine them on the other side. You could go there at any time, get some food. You feel what I'm saying? It just was a tight knit community because 9 out of 10 we're either family
Mhm.
or friends that grew up and grew to be family. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it was very a tight knit community where if I was out there, because my parents were into church, so if I was out there cussing, you know what I mean, I have neighbors that would come and slap me in the mouth and you know what, I'm telling your mother, and we and then I go home and
There
get it
you go.
again. You understand?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
there
it's
you
it's
go.
it's a tight knit community, a lot of love. Um, and then when something happened to one of us, we band together and try to pitch in. Like if one of us lose a loved one,
Mhm.
9 out of 10, we're all using the same funeral home, which is 2 minutes down the street,
Mhm.
which is Saunders. Where I'm from is a funeral home called Saunders, which most of us use, and it's just a very tight knit community. A lot of love, uh, a lot of sharing. We was taught how to share.
Mhm.
Um, this is
Mhm.
beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I definitely remember that because there's a few of them here, and I remember that. I mean, I'm thinking about when you were saying, I'm thinking about one of my homeboys, James Barnes. Show you how close we were. His mother was like my mother, and my mother's like his mother.
Definitely.
Crazy thing in history, crazy thing in history of the world, right? This me and this dude have been rocking since preschool. Literally, I met this kid in preschool, right?
Wow.
My mother died in 2010. Her birthday is December 13th. In 2022, his mother died on my mother's birthday. In
Wow.
2023, his father died on my mother's birthday.
Mm.
So
Wow.
I definitely understand the bond. I got aunts that are not my aunts, like you said. I got aunts that are not my aunts, but they're my aunts. I got uncles that are not my uncles, but they're my uncles. And again, man,
Definitely.
this is what I'm trying to reestablish. If we could do this person by person, it'll be dope. And if we could continue to bring more and more people, that's why I want people to tell their stories. Because when you start telling those stories about your life, and I can relate, and the people who listen can relate, and the people who going to be on in the future can relate. This is how we reconstruct the black community here in America, and we can stop all the
Oh,
mayhem and
definitely.
murder and killing. So
Absolutely.
keep going, man. Tell me some more. Keep telling me.
So
I want to
dope.
hear it
Um,
all.
So dope.
so I mean, the memories I have is, I have, like I said, my parents were into church. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So there was a lot of activities going on that um they be they be praying for a lot of people.
Boy.
And meanwhile, their children is out there. Once you leave the confines of the house, you tapping into all the little nuances and things that are going on outside.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and another fond memory I have is I was probably around 8, so that makes my brother around 6.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say his name. He's from the neighborhood, but he had got into it with somebody. Somebody got shot. He's running away. He's running away from police, and then he had the shot. He aimed at me and my brother. So I'm holding my brother, and the police are like, "You gotta, like, basically in between us." You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying? Um, and the police really wasn't. They didn't really protect.
mm,
You know what I mean? I thought, like, as a young kid, I'm holding my little brother, but I thought they would, like, come in front of me. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? Like, come in
mm-hmm,
front of me and my
mm-hmm.
brother and kind of shield us, and that didn't happen. You feel what
Okay.
I'm saying? So I guess my mistrust for the police started there.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
I didn't view them the same. When I was like before that, you know, they come to your school and they're telling you, if you see bad guys, this is what you do. We're gonna be there. We protect and serve. But that right there switched my whole outlook on what police are supposed to do, because they didn't do what in my brain I would have did if there was children in front of a gunman. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's part of I would say where my
Mm.
dislike for police came, you know, and they but also there's an officer, well, he's retired now. His name was Charlie Perry. He's the reason why I don't look at every police officer as bad. You feel what I'm saying? Officer Charlie Perry, he was just a great brother. He knew everybody in the neighborhood.
Right.
This was back in the day when they had people that were from the neighborhood, that police that knew the area, and now they make sure that you're not from the area, and they put, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
if your whole thing is to protect and serve, you're already messed up by not having somebody that's from the community. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. How you gonna even think about protecting a young person, a woman, or a man, and you don't even know that man? He's
And you're not
he's
connected
another
to them.
one of them.
Right.
Exactly. That's a fact.
Exactly. You know what? Again, remember I told you, and it's gonna trip you out the way it goes with the conversation. Uh, I always find, so we continue to connect. It's almost like Lego, right? You said that's how you just happen to bring up that this police situation. Somebody pulled out the toolie, and now you scared to death. Your first thing is to protect your brother, right? Today,
Yep.
it's the 54th anniversary of my father getting taken down. My father was a member of the Black Panther Party self-defense. They were at the back to school rally 1969.
All power, all power, all
All
power.
power to all people. Indeed. He gets hit in the head. He has an aneurysm. He hit in the head in September 69. He dies April 70. I'm born August. So again, it's the whole cop
Wow.
game connecting us, and the
Wow.
hatred or the dislike of police officer 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
3 weeks ago, I had a guy named Dan Allen, personal friend of mine, Chicago police officer. He one of the people that let you know when you connect with Dan. He one of the people that let you know that, hey, all cops ain't that dude, or these guys. So I didn't have the thing pulled on me, but I have had situations where I've been attacked. Me and Trey Mack from a community, whereas it was literally it wasn't even a block difference in a whole different gang, a whole different set of people, and they would pick you up in our community and take you to the rival gang community, and they would take you. Then you affiliated because of where you are, but it would take you having a connection with somebody to go, oh, slow down. That ain't his game.
That we ain't running that play.
Right. So,
Man.
it's connected.
Yeah. No, and it's what's even crazier, the whole connection, right? Right now, like you said, it's like Legos. The neighborhood we're from is named after the Black Panther Party slogan, which is the United Front, the movement. So our projects is called United Front. Because before the projects was built, this is how deep it goes. Before my projects was built, they had killed a young kid named Lester Lima, on the corner of Kempton. I wanted Kempton in Chancery Street. His name was Lester Lima. He was 17 years old, and the Black Panthers, band together. But at the time, because of how they rioted, a lot of houses on over there got burnt up. You know what I mean? There was some fires, so they had to rebuild the neighborhood. My great grandmother, God rest her soul, she owned 3 houses in the neighborhood on Ash Street, and they were trying to build the projects, but they needed the people in the neighborhood to sell their houses. My great grandma was the last person to sell her property so they could build the projects. And the only reason she did it was because she said, in the future, maybe some of mine may need subsidized housing.
Sacrifices must be made.
Yeah, and not even knowing that 3 of her grandchildren would
Be
live
raised.
there, be raised there.
You see, and then that brings me to another situation. As you talking and listening to your grandmother, there's two situations. Mr. Warlow, rest in peace, from my original neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. Late 80s, Mr. Warlow started buying up vacant lots. Now, Mr. Warlow, my grandmother, my dad's mother, her house is a crime lab. My mom's mother, her house is a Costco's parking lot. Mr. Warlow bought up his entire block, and now the city of Chicago's trying to buy all that land from him. He bought like 8 vacant lots for $1 each.
Wow.
He's gone. He kept it up, turned it into a park. That's why people have their little family reunions and cookouts and summer cookouts. The community comes together and hang out there. But at some point they're gonna cash in on that. And
Definitely.
like you said, man, you mentioned your grandma. Your grandma is doing what she did. When I read this book, it was a fable. It was a book of fables, it was African fables, and it was an 80-year-old man. He was walking through the fields and he's planting seeds. He did it every day, just walk miles every day. One day the dude stepped to him and said, "Hey, what are you doing, man? You're planting these seeds." And he said, "I'm planting them for shade." He's like, "You're 80 years old. You're not going to never see these trees." He said, "Nah." He said, "But the trees that I sat under, somebody planted them for me." So when you was talking about the grandmother, I was thinking about that situation. So again, man, this is why I continue to have these conversations. And this is why even the people who are listening, if you have a story to tell, please get in contact with one of these brothers, Trey Mack or whoever it is. Reach out to me because I want everybody's story told, because these stories, again, another book by a brother by the name of Umbate Pop. He said every time somebody from our community passes away and their story isn't documented, it's like a library burning to the ground and we never get those books back. So that's why I want people to come on, tell their stories. And before you finish, I'm going to bring your man on right here, Chance. Chance, welcome to the program, man. Introduce yourself, then we're going to get back to the regular situation.
Your picture.
What's up? What's up? I'm a little tied up visually, but
don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm here, man, in support my cousin. DeMarr's my cousin by blood. Sia's my brother through life, and DeMarr's my brother too through life as well. But he's actually blood. Just here supporting, man, the movement. Happy to be here. Okay. Tuned in a little bit late, but I'm here.
You're all good, man. Let's get this thing going. Finish talking to me about your life. So you 8 years old. Let's move from 8. What's going on? You 8 years old. That's 3rd grade. Talk to me about 4th, 5th, 6th grade. What's going on in your life?
I like it.
4th, 5th, 6th grade. I'm at a school called Kearney Academy, which is named after Sergeant William H. Kearney. He was actually a brother that was in the 54th Regiment.
See?
So yeah, part of that history. You feel what I'm saying? So
what we're talking about, man. These are stories that need to be told, man.
Yeah. And so the school was ran by a brother named Dr. Herbert Waters.
Dr. Waters.
Yeah, Dr. Waters was no joke. You ever seen the movie Lean on Me?
Yes, indeed.
He was Mr. Clark.
Yeah. He was like Joe Clark. But he wore his uniform because he was a veteran. He wore his uniform every single day. You had to stay 2 squares away from the wall. He called everybody lad.
Yep.
So coming up in that school, they did a lot with black culture because the majority of the people in the school from the area were black children. You know what I'm saying? So we learned a lot about being black and what that meant and how special it was to be black. You feel what I'm saying? Which I'd never trade for anything. So most of us from the neighborhood, all of us went there. You know what I mean? It was just beautiful because we all go to school there, then we go home. We're in Magnet Park. The park is called Magnet Park. You feel what I'm saying? So we go play in the park, and like you never stop being around the people you grew up with. Because we go to the same school. Our city's very small, 13 miles by 3. So 13 miles long, 3 miles wide. Our city's a very small city. There's in where like our neighborhood, there's only one school, like elementary school there for the area we're at. You feel what I'm saying? So we all went there. And then we had moved out of the projects. So now I'm around 12. We moved with my grandmother. She lived in a town called Fairhaven. My grandmother's mother, which I told you sold the houses to build the projects, she owned a farm in the town called Fairhaven. So when she passed, she gave it to her children. So my grandmother, we moved in with my grandmother for, I want to say, about eight months maybe. So now we're taking from a community that's majority Cape Verdean and Puerto Rican to being the only black children in the school.
Wow.
So now we're getting called nigga. We're fighting every day. We hated it. You feel what I'm saying? We hated living out there because of that reason. We get on our mother and father every day, like, yo, we don't like it out here. Like I like being with my grandmoms. God rest her soul. My Volvi, she was the best. She was everything. But the area just wasn't conducive for black children. Like I would never really put my children in that type of situation. So then we moved back to New Bedford, which we was happy about. And, it was back to, now I had two other aunts that lived in the projects. When we moved, my two other aunts lived there anyway. So after we get out of school, I'm like, can you bring us to aunties? I want to go be around my friends. You feel what I'm saying? So there was days where we go and I would just be like, man, you miss your friends, you miss the environment. So to other people, it was like the projects was a bad thing. But to us, it's our world. You feel what I'm saying? It was everything to us. The love overpowered the bad shit. You feel what I'm saying? So then that's when I'll say 13. 13 is when I kind of jumped off the porch, so to speak. And my parents, they didn't have much. We never went without, but they didn't have much.
Right.
So it was them things where it's like, you got $40 sneakers and everybody else got the Jordans and this and that. And so that's what made me kind of jump off the porch early. Was like, yo, you know what? I need some Jordans too. So I actually had a friend, and I would use him. I would use him as a I would blame my extra dealings on extracurricular activities. I'm like, yo, his father felt bad, man. He bought me a pair of sneakers. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I was with him. They bought me a pair of sneakers. I'd be like, please, can you tell her that you bought these sneakers for me? Because you feel what I'm saying? And for a while, I would just leave them in my locker at school. I was doing that for a while. And then one day, this is back in the beeper era. So one day, this was before beepers had to vibrate. These beepers had no vibrate.
Loud.
So, yeah, my shit goes off. Dee, 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 dee. It's going crazy. And I'm putting my hand over it to try to. So my mother's like, what's that noise? I'm like, yeah, what's that noise? I'm like trying to help her find where the noise. I'm trying to help her find where the noise is coming from. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. She said, stay right there. Like she grabbed my arm, like, don't move. And I'm sitting there praying that it don't go off again. And the shit goes off again. Dee, 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 dee. Oh man, she goes off from my pocket. What's this? I was like, oh, that's what's going on.
Oh. Hey, well, you know what? Don't even worry about it. That's what happens when you do something live.
I'm gonna pick up where he left off real quick.
My man.
So around that same time, before he chimes back in, I was in the same projects. I'm a little older than Saya, and I'm scrambling, but I'm I'm into sports. I'm into, girls. I'm trying to, I'm just moving and shaking, right? But I was one of the kids with the J's, and with the kicks because my mother was in the streets. My mother was boosting.
Oh,
So my mother provided for our hood.
right.
Anything and everything that anybody in our hood needed. I was one of the kids with the things only due to that.
Okay.
Right? So people would come over my house. Like I had the new Nintendo games, all the video games. I had everything that everybody wanted in the hood due to her boosting. Right? So now I'm the fondest memory for me was in our hood. I would go from the West End where we grew up, which is United Front, which he spoke briefly on, and I would walk down to the South End. And I would go down to the South End. Some of my family lived down there. I would go play ball. I would go kick it with some people. And then I would walk to the North End. And I would go kick it over there. I would go chill with some people over there. I'd go play ball. Then I'll walk back up West and I'll take it home. That was like a day in the life for me growing up. And now looking back at it and where things are now, they're warring with each other. The West is warring with the South, and the South is warring with the North, and it's mind-boggling to me that it's very small, like Saya said, and it was so tight-knitted back when we came up that now it turned from that to this is beyond me, my comprehension almost, right? And last but not least, I see Saya's back. Last but not least is when I was coming up, you couldn't sell coke, crack in our community in the West End, in United Front.
Yeah, you couldn't.
You couldn't do that. Like you would get jumped, beat down, and kicked out of the hood.
That's a fact.
Even if you lived there.
That's a fact.
You lived in the United Front. The only thing they was moving in United Front was weed. And it was a common theme in the United Front that nobody could move anything other than that in here. It was a law almost.
It was a law. That's a fact.
And yeah, so that for me was a sense of pride for my community because it was like, yo, we're not killing off our own people. And that's what it stood for, and that's what we stood for, and that's what we stood on. And so the values and the morals that we live by is what I'm itching for that to come back. I'm itching for that. I'm like, I was raised in that. That's what the life God is about for me. Like, we talking life, we preaching life like into people, and a lot of themes and a lot of music and a lot of everything is preaching death. And I just want to get back to, let's talk life into people. Let's build people up. Let's build communities back up. Let's get back to that. And then once we get that, I feel like things will trend up,
Yeah, that's a fact. I apologize, no
apologies needed, brother. And you know what? Just like you were saying, man, it wasn't that thick with us, because I moved ironically, I moved from the West. Then my mother for a year lived on the South Side. And then me and Trey Mack, we met on the North. You know what I'm saying? And I came back to the West. And like you said, it wasn't a rule that you couldn't do this and that and this and that. But I can remember on the West Side of Chicago, one of the more treacherous sides of the city, right? It was this group of dudes. I don't want to say their name because I don't know what they're doing right now. But they had this crew of dudes. These dudes, they used to literally send somebody, go get your son. We about to start shooting out here. All the kids coming out. Chaos happens. It's safe.
That's a fact.
It's killing more people than AIDS at one point. But man, and you're right. It was a situation. I can remember being at one of my partner's house, and my mother, every time she saw me at his house,
yeah.
Now, as a man, I realized that was the drugs house. That was the party. They were selling drugs out of the house, but that was the party house where you went and got high, and then you went on about your business. So yeah, it was chaos. It was debauchery going on, but it was a controlled chaos. It was a situation to whereas you're gonna be right here. So when I'm thinking, me and you are more the same age because I can remember when it was that was taken away from us. Simple. You remove the opportunities for success, and then you leave nothing but chaos.
Yeah, debauchery that is coming thereafter. You feel what I'm
There it
saying?
is. There it is. That's how you
Yeah,
destroy it.
I'm a little younger than y'all.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, I'm a little younger than y'all, but I came up under y'all. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So your group, I came up under y'all. We was raised with certain principles and morals. We
Yes.
call it morals over money. You feel what I'm
Yes,
saying?
indeed.
That's how we move. Like me and Code D actually got a joint called Morals Over Money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because right now we live in an era where it's money over morals. You feel what I'm saying?
Anything for the paper.
Yeah, anything for the paper. And the thing is like I remember when that transition was happening, even through the music, and I was like, wow, this is dangerous. You feel what I'm saying? Because what it's gonna do, music is one of the highest mediums that's used as far as energy goes. This is why they like to control the airwaves. This is why the Chuck D's and you know those type of groups were X'd out, is because the message, the coding, black people, we're a people that code our language. We have a coded language. Like one word can mean 8 different things to us, and we understand the way we're using it. We understand what that thing meant. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like with me, my music is coded the very same way. Like I'm trying to bring that back with the lyrics, where it's like, you know, everything's coded. We're coding. We're bringing back the coded language because this is something that they can't take from us.
Absolutely.
They can't, and they don't understand it. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like it's almost like pig Latin to them.
Yeah.
It's a whole different language. Like what the fuck do they mean by that?
Man.
You feel what I'm saying?
Man, it is a whole nother language. I mean, we don't even speak with words a lot of the time. Like, we don't know each other. It's our first conversation, right? But I guarantee you what I'm about to say, everybody who's listening, no matter where they're from, they're going to relate to what I'm saying. You can have your mother, your grandmother, and your aunt in the same room. You could be telling a story, and all 3 of them will go, and they mean 3 different things, and you know exactly what each one of them means. And all they did was, one of them went, that was good. The other one went, shut your
ass up.
Here we go again. It's 3 different things, and we know, and of course,
we know what it means too.
We know what it means. That means shut up, I'm gonna relax and move on because this ain't working in this room.
That's a fact.
So you're right. That's why
and you look for the facial expression when they do it.
Exactly.
Word. That's a fact.
Or your grandmother, you could be saying something, and your grandmother just get up and leave the room. Let me shut up. You know, my grandfather used to say, somebody telling you a lie, just stare at him. Just stare at him. That's all he would say, just stare at him. He said, if he mind, shut up. He's gonna shut up because he know he's exposed. So again, man, that's like last year when everybody was on this AI kick. Oh man, AI gonna take over the world. No, our communication pieces change too frequently.
It does.
You know, AI would never catch up with dope. Like Chicago. Like, watch this. People from Chicago in the chat room. You walk into you can be talking to a dude in Chicago and you'll be like, hey man, how you like this? He'll go, that's decent. In Chicago, the rest of the country, that's okay. In Chicago, that means man, you killing it.
Yeah, that's a fact,
man. And you outside of 606, you may not know what that means. But in Chicago, that means you got it, man. So
that's a fact. Yup.
Well, yeah, man.
Fire.
Can't nobody ever blueprint and copy us, man.
Never.
Ever.
That's a fact. See where I'm from, like a lot of people, a lot of different places, like in Cali, I know everything out there is like on the damn homies. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think from where we're from is on. So when I say, they were like, yo, for real, like on, they already know it means like that's the same thing. On the dead homies, we just say on. Everything's on. Or we'll be like, if something's good, something's dope, we're like, oh, that was murder. You feel what I'm saying? But that means it's good.
Exactly. And
guess
what? If I heard it in the song or if I heard you talking about it, I'm sitting there just because I'm black, I'm epigenetically gonna adapt to what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So now, man, it is another language. It's not like another language. We have a spiritual being, we have a natural being, we got a physical being, and all these things tie in. That's what makes us special on this planet.
Definitely.
Before you fell off, the disconnect, you were talking about your mom identified that you were about to create some chaos. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so so she found me with a pager. And again, it was one of them things like, oh, a friend of mine did give it to me. You feel what I'm saying? But the purpose that it was given to me was to move tree. You feel what I'm saying? At the time, I had got my first ounce of weed, and back then it was Phillies. Like where we're from, people were rolling blunts, like Philly blunts. So I would break down the whole zip down and with Phillies. I would roll them all up, and I was selling the Phillies for $5 each back then. You feel me? So I have a baggie full of Phillies, and I always kept it at my friend's house, because his peoples were a little more loose with what they did. You feel what I'm saying? So I didn't bring it past my mother's door, just because like I said, they're church people. You feel what I'm saying? But she did take my pager, and I was like, Ma, you gotta give it back so I could give it to my friend. And she was like, well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna call your friend and have his mom or his father call me to get this.
That's that community.
That's that community. So then I was like, yo, can you tell your father? And you know what I mean? And homie's pops ain't want no parts of that.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, I didn't want no parts of it. My mother's like, where's your friend? Where's your friend? You know what I'm saying? I had to chalk that shit up, man. You know what I mean?
Man.
But I know that for them, for my parents, I know they seen signs early. But what happened was there was a shift. I was 13 years old.
What year is this?
Oh, you trying to age me, huh?
No, I just want people to know.
I'll tell you, it was 93. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You know what? I was thinking 93. I was thinking.
Yeah, it was 90. Actually, I'm 13, so it was 94. It was 94. Okay. I'm 13 off the porch, and then what happened was there was a shift where I had got tore up. It was my last, what I call my finale, beating from my mom's. I was getting too big. You feel what I'm saying? I've been this size I am now, like height. I've been 6'2" since 12. You feel what I'm saying? So I was just getting it. My father used to say, he's like, Robin, he's getting too big for you to be hitting that boy. I see the anger in him. You feel what I'm saying? And so what would happen, I'd get beatings from her, and I'd be like, anybody in the street is gonna get all this coming to him because I can't hit my moms or my pops. You feel what I'm saying? So the shift happened where it was like I was done like lying. You feel what I'm saying? So the shift happened. This was right after that finale beating, I call it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, from there I was kind of done. So anything that happened, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. And maybe it was a little bit of being just rebellious. Because I've always had like a rebellious spirit to me. Not in a bad way, just more in a way of, if I feel like doing something, I'm just gonna do it and accept the consequence for however that comes. But as with my parents, I could see how that affected them, because they're just like, man, this kid is not scared of getting whooped no more. You feel what I'm saying? Like the things that kids naturally lie about. I was like, yeah, nah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you did? Yeah, I did that. I know you're gonna tear me up for it. And it got to the point where my father was like, listen, man, at this point, I should be able to talk to you. Like as a young man, you're a young man. I should be able to speak to you. You feel what I'm saying? And
but you know what? You know what? That even though what you were doing was wrong, You know, it is what it is. You're doing it to survive. You're in survival mode. You're a young person. You're 13 years old. It's not like you're some 50-year-old man doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But it is still a reflection of how great your parents were. You refuse to tell this unnecessary lie to get along in life. You were displaying the character that they built into you, even though you were doing wrong. It goes back to scripture: train a child up to do the right thing, and even when and when he's
He
time
will
to do the
not
right thing,
depart.
he would not depart. So
Well,
even though you were doing the wrong things, what you refuse to do is disrespect your parents by compounding that wrong on top of
with a lie.
additional wrongs. You was like, hey, you guys raised me properly. I'm not going, I'll do what I have to do in the world. But in their world, you're going to do what they taught you to do. Something else that it reminds me of, I was listening to this pastor this week, and he said, before you invite somebody in the house, make sure they believe in God. He said, somebody come visit your children. Say, hey, are you saved? And if the kids say, no, don't let them in your house. Some of your friends come over. He say, treat your home like you would treat your car. If you don't smoke and your friends come in with a cigarette, you'll say, you ain't getting in my car with that. So if they're not of God, if they don't have this foundation, this moral compass, no, you don't need to be around me. And what you were doing is displaying that moral compass that your parents put on you.
No, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
You know, and I know, like I said, I know it drove him crazy. Being a parent and being like, man, this kid is not scared of the consequence no more. You feel what I'm saying? It's like kind of like you're getting numb to pain or getting whooped. You feel what I'm saying? But I know that they were doing what they felt like they had to do to steer me in the right direction. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah. So from that point, as to go back to DeMarr's point had came up. The neighborhood we came up in, you couldn't sell cocaine, you couldn't sell heroin. It was a marijuana only neighborhood. So I remember when I started flirting with selling cocaine.
Okay.
And I would always have to tell people, I was like, all right, meet me over here, because I know I couldn't do it at the park.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, meet me to 2-3 blocks up. So I'll go 3 blocks up and do it over there. You feel what I'm saying? Just because of see, what happened was, I'm gonna tell you what happened. For one, the neighborhood was Black Panther headquarters at one time, right? So you had the Panthers. So this meant that in the neighborhood there was no gang activity, right? They didn't want no gang shit going on, for one. For two, what had happened was a friend of mine from the neighborhood, his name was DJ, Danny Correa. He had these dudes from a different town had came through and asked for cocaine.
Oh.
And one of the brothers was like, yo, we don't sell cocaine over here. And the dude was like, yo, come on, I'm not a cop, this, that, and the third. However the story went, he kept pushing to buy cocaine, and one of the brothers dropped him. You know what I'm saying? Knock him out in front of him and his boys. He said he's coming back. A little while later, he comes back, lights the whole spot up, and the dude who knocked him out, his little brother gets murdered. You feel what I'm saying? So this was another reason why there was no selling cocaine there, is because obviously somebody had broke that rule for them to think that they could buy cocaine over there. You feel what I'm saying? So that was what we knew. And RIP to DJ. That happened in 1994, April 15th. I'll never forget that day. You feel what I'm saying? And RIP to him. So in a few days, it's gonna be
30 years.
Yo, crazy, bro. Crazy. We were babies.
You mind if I
saying?
real quick to
yeah, chime in.
I want to tie the timelines in real quick. So around the time Saya was just talking about, 94-ish, I had moved to Worcester. So my mother, I told you, she was boosting. She had got locked up and went to Framingham. She got arrested with the Framingham. I was living with my aunt, who was into drugs and all of that. So I was, I was kind of just on my own, just kind of doing my own thing, figuring it out. And my mother had got out and moved to Worcester, which is, rehab central, where people get out of jail, they come to Worcester for rehab 9 times out of 10. So when she got out, she was in Worcester. She called me. I'm in New Bedford living with my aunt, who was kind of doing the same thing my mother was doing, except a little bit worse. And she was like, I'm in Worcester. I'm like, where? So long story short, I hopped on the bus and moved out to Worcester at the time. Now I'm flying back and forth from Worcester to New Bedford because New Bedford is home to me. And I'm getting up with Saya. I'm getting up with Chance. Getting up with Betrayal. I got Betrayal. And we formed this monster crew. And we was doing music. And we wrapped a van. We was pressing up vinyl. And we was young. And we was just, going through the motions. But around this time when Saya said he hopped off the porch, that's around the time when I was back and forth and we was connecting at that time and we was getting busy in several different ways, but the music was our out. You know what I mean? The music was the way we vented, the way we got things off our chest, the way we express ourselves. And honestly, it kept us sane and out of a lot of other stuff that we potentially could have got in that was way more worse than the things we got in, which, it was a lot of things we got into. But the music kept us grounded and kept us focused. And I just wanted to give you the time frame of what was going on around the time he hopped off the porch.
Man, thank you for that, because you know what, I'm gonna add a little of that too. Even though I'm in Illinois and the same kind of things are going on, and here's the crazy part, right? You mentioned the music thing again. I told you we're gonna continue to tie these knots. We're gonna continue to build off this foundation that we stated. Like you just said, music kept you out of a lot of foolishness. This is the dictionary definition of why Reaganomics was started. Because the first thing they took away from the schools was the music and arts programs. Because as you stated, music will tie in Black, white, Latino, Asian. That's why hip hop is the biggest form of music in the world, because pain is universal. You will not live on this earth without having some struggle. So when you hear struggle music, and you hear overcoming music, you're going to gravitate towards that. So if we can stop these people from connecting with each other, we're going to remove this music. They didn't see hip hop coming, but we're going to remove this music and we're going to stop it. I am proof positive of that. I spent the whole 70s, I was born in 1970. I spent the whole 70s wanting to learn to play the trumpet. Started in 76 at my school. My sisters, they played the clarinet, they played the flute. Had a cousin named Eric I looked up to, he played the saxophone. I said, I'm going to learn how to play this trumpet and the saxophone. You couldn't get in, you was in fourth grade. As soon as I turned get in the fourth grade, guess who's the president? Ronald Reagan. Guess what they removed from my school? Arts and music. So what you're saying is proof positive of that this system is set up to hold up first and foremost back. Because I can't speak of other communities, but this is why you remove music, because music, we ain't listening to Bob. We don't know who Bob Dylan is if we don't know him through music. We don't know who the Eurythmics are. All of these things, they tie each other together. We tie each other together, and it puts people who are disenfranchised and disjointed in a common place. And you put common people in one place, and it builds up, and they can't be stopped.
Exactly.
So thank you for putting that in there. Back to the story.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to think. So, what DeMarr was saying was I was just giving you the history of the reason. One of the reasons why they didn't have that in the neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying? And at that time, like I said, the OGs were keeping a strong hold as far as that goes. You feel what I'm saying? Obviously you got your little scuffles and then you had other neighborhoods that was more or less gangbanging, because that wasn't part of our thing. We were just what we used to call back then West Side or West Side. You know what I'm saying? But we called it West Side, or the West End. Other neighborhoods had, like Kings. Other neighborhoods had Boss, which was Brothers of the Same Struggle. They had the BGD, they had the GDs. You feel what I'm saying? But that was never, that was never our neighborhood. But since I want to say the 80s, that was down South End. You feel what I'm saying? There was brothers from the Maltese Park, brothers from South First. They were GD or BGD, all of that back then. You feel what I'm saying? But our thing was always just, where you from? West Side. We just West End niggas. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, them United Front niggas. You know what I'm saying? So we banged as far as just being from the West, but it was never now there's so many different gangs from in the neighborhood. This is hence what made me and a brother of mine we came up with this. One of our brothers had got locked up, which he was like his group. He was, he was the guy for his group. I don't want to say his name just because I don't want to draw no attention to him, like no negative attention. You feel what I'm saying? But he had got locked up. So me and a brother, Reggie Green, we was like, yo, there's a lot of things happening. There's you got different groups coming up where we coming up that are now banging GD, or they're now banging riding the six, some are Crips. Like we need to come up with something that under our banner, from you being from the neighborhood, that you don't bang on each other, because we're all from this neighborhood. So don't bang on each other under this thing. So a thing called Arsto, we created Arsto, which is All Real Soldiers Takeover. So it was one of them things to be like, all right, under the 4, right? Under the 4, which is like the dub, under the 4, 5 and 6 won't bang under the 4. This is our vision. The vision that me and this brother Reggie Green came up with. He was like, yo, we gotta put something together that way.
You're muted. You're muted. Mute. Take yourself off mute. Now you go. You still can't hear you. You might have to come out and go back in. I mean, you might have to go out and come back in. We're going to talk to DeMarr. Go out and come back in because you're still muted.
I'm here. What was my family talking about that just now when I got?
He was talking about how you guys created crews. Still can't hear you. Still no sound. No sound. No sound.
It's all good. I'll take over until they get back in.
Okay. Leave and come back. Close out and then come back. Yeah. There we go.
He was talking about crews.
Yeah, he was talking about how you guys created a movement, and then it was basically the sad part is here go the sad part.
Same thing, right?
Right. Look, no, those gangs started in Chicago.
I see. You see what I'm talking about?
Again, we continue.
That's how
to
everything went.
The things that
that's
we
how
talk
everything.
About.
That's how everything went from us. It trickled down. To Massachusetts.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, Sai.
Oh, got you. I apologize.
Now you good.
No. That's what happens when you do something live, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, where was you at?
Yeah, so I was saying basically like we wanted brothers from our neighborhood not to bang on each other because we're all from the same spot. So you got brothers that ride the 5, and then you got brothers that ride the 6. You feel what I'm saying? But under the what we call the 4, the dub, like we say, yo, we're brothers. You feel what I'm saying? And we've been on that for a grip. You got brothers that are boss. You got brothers that are Crip. A lot of shotgun Crips. You got some Vice Lords. So it's like we got a lot of different sets in the neighborhood, and we're like, yo, we gotta find a way to band this together so that we just don't destroy ourselves as far as the West End. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where Arsto, the initial thing came from, is like, all right, let's find a way to have sort of a policy that says, you know what, these are still your brothers, even though they're riding the different flags. You feel what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Policy over politics.
Yeah. So it's policy over politics. We have a thing called policy over politics, which is on the logo of it. Politics is backwards. So it's policy over backwards politics, which is anything that's going to hurt the community. I think that we need to come up with a policy that overrides that. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, that's what the music that I make is more or less like what we need to do, since gangs, it's the inception of gangs was for us to protect our neighborhoods from police brutality. You feel what I'm saying? This is where it came from. So for me, it's like if we return to the original, the thought of it, the inception of it, it would be like if somebody from your neighborhood comes over here, we're gonna take him in as ours and treat him the right way. And just like if one of my brothers go to your neighborhood, you're gonna do the same with him. Like that would be the policy for me. That would be policy over politics. Like, all right, you're because how we don't look at it is, for the people, gangs are really the people's army. We don't look at it like that because the government put a bad connotation on it, but we're the people's army. So the breakdown I give is, you never see a Marine going and banging on somebody from the Navy. You don't see a Navy man banging on somebody from the Army. You know what I'm saying? And they all under one banner. They all ride under that one flag. I feel like the hood needs that type of policy and say, yo, listen, you're a soldier on your side, I'm a soldier on my side, but my beef ain't with you, brother. But the problem is there's been so much bloodshed that's where that's where the faulty piece is. You feel what I'm saying? It's because there's brothers that say, now Vice Lord killed my brother, he's GD. So now I become GD to go handle that piece because you killed my brother. Now I don't like all Vice Lords. Or the Vice Lord feel the same way about a peace stone. Or you get what I'm saying? So these are the
you just described my neighborhood.
Word. Yeah. And
for me, 4 gangs in my neighborhood where I grew up in.
Word. And think of it. We're all fighting over the same resources. Instead of sharing the resources and saying, like, I'm you on this side of things. You're me. We have to now. We really gotta look at each other and say, damn, you're really going on the other side of town looking for somebody that look just like you. Right? Yeah. To lay him down.
It's a sad commentary. And okay, let's just start. Let me give you a piece of Chicago. While you giving me this in Massachusetts, I'll give you a piece of Chicago. Those 4 gangs that you just described, the Black Gangster Disciples, BGD, the Gangster Disciples, GDs, that's here in Chicago, Southside Chicago, the Vice Lords, which my Uncle Otis helped start.
Wow.
The Black Peace Stone Nation on the south side of Chicago, the Vice Lords on the west side of Chicago. Now, the Vice Lords are broken up into 4 or 5 different fractions: travelers, unknowns, conservatives, and just straight Vice Lords, right? Then you got these people, like you said, where my church is, it's right north of what is called the Holy City. The reason they call it the Holy City, that's where the Vice Lords started. And this is why it's a system in place to keep us in these little boxes, right? System in place to keep these little boxes, because they always bring somebody, they push somebody in the middle of this who does not have the principles that you guys spoke about 20 minutes ago. Morals over money. They get somebody who's they're infused in the debauchery. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is watch the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. Everybody watching for Fred Hampton. It was the dude, William, I can't think his name, William something.
Yeah.
He is the focus of the movie.
Yeah, he infiltrated.
Yeah, He infiltrated and destroyed the situation, and nobody pays attention to that guy. That's what these, like, I'm not telling you that the gangs are just, oh man, these are the greatest guys in the world, but they had beef with each other and they left us out of it. That was the thing. That's the thing that is missing from this situation now. That's why, I'm not celebrating anybody who's at the top of the food chain in these organizations. Let's not even call them gangs anymore, because you know what? It ain't the Lucchese gang. It ain't the Gambino gang. It's the Lucchese family.
That's a fact.
Street organizations. That's the first step we can take in removing this negative connotation from these things. But these organizations kept the debauchery away from the Bryans, the hRaps. They kept these people away from us because, hey, I had the ability to go straight 3 blocks down the block around the way over to Orchard Street. You know why? Because my brother was a GD and they were GDs and they knew my brother. I can go on what's called the Wild End, and in the Wild End, they were black gangsters. My cousin Vincent was a black gangster. That's Vincent's cousin. I'm living in the Viceroy/Blackstone neighborhood, and my homeboys are Cobra Stones. So I can go where I want to go. I'm one of the few people that could do that. But again, one of the control situations here in Chicago is you could be in another neighborhood if you knew the right person. And once you start bringing in this, again, removing the resources and bringing all this coke and this heroin, but I forgot this one thing. It was a synthetic drug. They used to call it Karachi. And you bought this stuff in our community, and now all those morals and standards are gone because we are focused on money. And that's when that community that you spoke about, that's when that community started to die, and then we are living in the situation we're in now. Man, thank you for sharing that, because again, man, the purpose of this is so we can reconnect, because I've spent a little time in Massachusetts. I spent a little time in Rhode Island, but it's amazing how me and you and the dudes, not only just me and you had the same life experience, me and DeWan had the same life experience, me and Trey Mack got the same life experience, but at the end of the day, I've never touched you physically. I've never put real eyes on you, and we're living the same life. So if we continue to have these conversations, we can continue to move. I'm trying to think of what my pastor James Dodd III always said about something about removing the wheat from the I can't think of it.
The wheat from the tear.
Wheat from the tail. We can remove the wheat from the tail, move the tail here, and we can continue to grow this strong wheat that brothers like myself, yourself, and others who are watching, we are here to represent. Continue your story, please, my brother.
Yes, sir. Well, so that's the inception of Arsto and what it represents. So what ended up happening is there was some brothers that were with it. There was some that wasn't with it, which was fine. That's going to be with anything. But what I had said was, because we started off with a lot of us that was with it, but what ends up happening is you got a lot of people that may not want to be held accountable for certain things. Mm-hmm. You got others that feel like, yo, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who are you to be to be running this thing? And we had this thing like, you're my ace, because we all come equal. There is nobody running it. This is all of we're all at the table. There's no big eyes, little U's. You're my ace. You feel what I'm saying? Because we all come equal. So, but there was, naturally there's gonna be people that don't get it, which is fine. But I said, you know what? Whether it be the brother that helped me create it, he ended up going up. He ended up doing 10 years behind something that happened after we had created it. It had nothing to do with it, but he went away for a while. And what I did was, like, I told him, I said, you know what, I'm thinking about taking this same concept and using it in the music, and then we'll be able to code the music with these same principles and morals, and give it to our people in a way that they could digest it a little better and let it sit with them individually, where they can listen to it and be like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. You feel what I'm saying? Like we're all going through it. We're all, even though I'm not boss, you know what I'm saying? I'm what they call a non-affiliate or turned up non-affiliate. You feel what I'm saying? Like I've done everything that these brothers have done. I'm just not waving any certain flag. You feel what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I feel like when people sit with the music and be like, wow, you know what? We all are brothers of the same struggle in real life. Whether you're blood, Crip, folk, Latin King, you know,
GD, Vice Lord,
Neanderthal,
whatever.
yeah, whatever you are, Vice Lord, all of that, Peace Stone. We're all brothers that band together in a family manner, and you'll do whatever you got to do to make sure your brother come home. That's all of us. But we have a common op. We're not each other's op. We have a common opposition to us, and it's not us. You feel what I'm saying?
Preach.
So it's like, yeah, and that's basically the aim of my music. It's like, yo, you're not my op. You feel what I'm saying? And I would definitely not want to do harm to somebody that look like me, but obviously I got to make it home as well. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey man, like Smith and Wesson said, I'm my brother's keeper, but I'll put my brother to sleep if my brother tries to creep.
And that's where we're at with it. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, at the end of the day, we're lifeguards. You feel what I'm saying? So in a sea, I say in a sea of life, we're lifeguards, not lifeguard, but lifeguards. Like, you feel what I'm saying? In a world full of death angels and demons, we're lifeguards. So I'd rather take a situation and hear two sides and be like, listen, brothers, let's put the knives down, let's put the guns down. Why don't y'all do hand to hand? That way you walk away with some lumps, bloody lip, black eye, but you're both here for your children. You know what I mean? Nothing else. You can shake hands after it on some old school shit. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of cowards.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Let's take a few steps back. You scrambling, you out here, you making your way in the world, you're in survival mode, you're doing things that you may or may not want to do. You're not dedicated to it, you're just trying to survive.
Yep.
How does the music enter your life?
All right, so music, I started doing music, you know, I mean, I was a kid, you know, like I said, my folks is from church. You feel what I'm saying? So I've always done music. I played the drums in church, part of the choir. But as I got older, you know, listening to music, I heard that Illmatic. Nas is Illmatic. And I was just like, yo, that just had my mind in a twist. Like, damn, I could do that with some words. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always, like, in school, English was my strong suit in school. I did very well with English. You feel what I'm saying? So, and storytelling is you know, one of my fortes. So that is what really got me to be like, yo, I could do that. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that was what, 94. I'm 13. My cousin Dutch, he had just bought the tape, popped it in. I'm in his house at 123 Maxfield Street, New Bedford. And boom, it goes in crazy. It's like you close your eyes and it's an audio movie. Yes. From there, I was hypnotized with it. I've been on it ever since. And I always told myself I'll be, my goal is to be the best me I could be with these words. You feel what I'm saying? My thing was more or less like, my thing was gonna be more or less like message driven, without being preachy. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you the medicine in the sweets, so to speak. You feel what I'm saying?
Hey, look, get this though. this is right back at the beginning when we start talking about God. You were raised in the church. You playing music in the church. What's your favorite way to express your music? Through stories. What's the best storybook in the history of the world? The Bible. It all ties in. Again, we continue to build on this foundation. And people that's, man, I don't mess with that. I used to be one of those dudes. Up until 2007, I was like, I don't hear that mess. Messed around and went to a Bible study. Been going to Bible study in church ever since. So,
gotcha. Yeah, I was raised on it, and what I learned is, and you could look this up, because a lot of people don't believe me until they go into their Bible and see I'm writing exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your Bible, because what do you go by, the King James?
Yes.
So in the King James, I can't think of the Psalms. It's a Psalms, and it said, "O ye are gods," right? Well, what people don't know is religion has you looking outside of yourself for something that's inside of you. So as long as they can have God's children looking outside of their self for God, we're going to be a lost people. You feel what I'm saying? In the book that you read, you're going to go through your Psalms, and it's going to tell you it in Psalms. Everything I could do, you could do, and more.
Yeah. Hey, woo! Pastor
You feel what I'm
Doc
saying?
said that a couple of weeks ago, man.
So this is a fact. You feel what I'm saying? So
Hey,
I take that and you see it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's
what I was about to say, man. We life gods, man, and religion is a touchy subject, you know, and it's one of those things that, you know, some people believe, some people. But I was talking to Saya about this earlier. At the end of the day, we all believe in God. At the end of the day, whatever religion you go by, I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I do what you do and hope it works for you, right? But at the end of the day, it all leads to God, right? So we doing this life God thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is.
Tell me about that. Go ahead, give me all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. So listen, man. This is a movement, and this is a part of the brand, right? This is not even the main course. This is a piece of the movement, right? So really, also Enterprise, the logo is a bird in a triangle, right? So, you know, when you see it, it's a vulture. It's a vulture and it's in a triangle, right? So that's the, you know, 3 points. And Saya can explain this probably way better than I can, but you got the 3 points, right? So, you know, that's the triangle. I mean, the triangle goes far back as to
everything building, anything in the building.
Back to the pyramids, right? The triangle back to the pyramids. The vultures, you know, the vulture is self-explanatory. It's a bird, but a vulture is a vulture, right?
So right there, right? So
yes, sir.
We're gonna go to the vulture piece.
Yes, sir.
The vulture is one of the only animals that can take death to sustain life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why we chose the vulture. And also the vulture in hieroglyphics represents the letter A.
Boom.
Right? So the background behind the vulture is we're gonna take death to sustain life. This is a principle. So the principle is in the world of death angels, we're gonna be lifeguards, right? We're gonna. So the triangle also 3 points in the triangle: God, family, and money. You feel what I'm saying? In that order. It don't go money, family, then God. God, family, money. Once you understand that you are God, are you gonna be a good God or a bad God? And what do we call the bad God? The devil.
Yeah.
The devil.
Right?
The devil.
So understand, people gotta understand the polarity, the duality in life. If you're not leaning towards one, you're the other. If you're not right, you're left. If you're not up, you're down. The problem is people want to have a convenient devil that they could blame when they do some shit that they just wanted to do. They want to be able to blame something other than themselves for doing it. Oh, the devil made me do it. The devil is inside all of us. You have positive, negative, and then neutral. Neutral is the balance, right? So our thing is to be in the center. This is why God says it. Like it says it in people's good book. You read the good book, the point, when Jesus was on that cross, where was he at? He was in the center, right? The point of all of that, you see the vulture in the center of the triangle. It's in the center because it's about balance. Not being too much of one or being too much of other. It's about being in the neutral. That's why I say I live in the gray. This world is not black and white. Life happens in the gray. It's going to be ebb and flow, up and down. You feel what I'm saying? So Lifeguard, I'll tell you the story behind Lifeguard.
But real quick.
Yeah.
So bird, then he's gonna tell you about Lifeguard. So the bird in the triangle exclusive is the clothing line. And I want to just be clear so people that are tuning in understand bird in the triangle exclusive. So it's called Bite. BITE. Right. So that's the clothing line. And then Lifeguard is a part of the clothing line. Right. So it's a brand of the Bite clothing line. So Bird in the Triangle exclusive is the clothing line, and Lifeguard is a part of that. So we have influential. We have there's a bunch of other.
We have rare. We have a
bunch of other logos that we gonna be coming out with. But Bird in the Triangle exclusive is what you should be on.
It's funny. Again, we continue to tie these together. Grab this for a second. 1 second. I'm gonna grab this.
Yep.
It's ironic that we talk about a clothing line and we talk about God. My homeboy.
Yes, sir. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
We continue to connect time and time again.
All right. Break down that Lifeguard for him now, Si.
So the breakdown to Lifeguard, me, my wife, and my children was at this feast. It's called the Portuguese Feast out here in New Bedford. We're at a feast, and I had seen a young brother I know, and I just see him looking. He's going crazy, right? His face is crazy. I'm just like, yo, what's good, bro? He comes to talk to me. I'm about to yap, homie. You know what I'm saying? I've been looking for him 6 months. He's here. It's finally like I got him. I'm on him, and I'm like, bro, you see how many families is out here? There's a bunch of families out here. Thank you, baby. So there's a bunch of families out here. My children out here. I'm with my wife and my children. Don't do that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna give you 100 years. You feel me? I get it. You don't want to do that here, right? Boom. We're walking. I see said brother that dude was talking about. Like, yo, yeah, fam. His head's on a swivel. He's ready too. Yo, I think I seen somebody X, Y, Z. Yo, brother, listen. Don't do that. I gave him the same message. Long story short, it didn't happen, right? So we're walking, me, my wife, my son and my daughter, we're walking, and we see the Lifeguard hoodies, and my wife is like, you need to buy one of those because you're always trying to save somebody. You need to get one of those hoodies. So I was like, I said, yeah, but I'm not a lifeguard. I'm a lifeguard. And that was the birth of Lifeguard. My wife was like, damn, that would be crazy. Lifeguard would be crazy. Because it's like, yo, what did Nas say? Instead of preaching death in my songs, I preach life. Right? So it's like,
yes, sir.
That was the birth of it with me, my wife, my children. Boom. So we're leaving. I had called my man, my partner, Randy. Yo, fam, X, Y, and Z. I'm putting everybody on. Yo, this is what we got going. You know what I'm saying? I had hit the dude to create the logo. 3 days later, the logo was created. You feel what I'm saying? And we've been rocking with it and running with it ever since. And all the brothers that are connected, my brother DeMarr, Cody, my brother Chance, my brother Ran on the Beat, we're all Lifeguard energy. We're all brothers that that try to put that energy out there. You feel what I'm saying?
And real quick, since we got to do this, we gotta name drop a couple people because it takes a village, right? And
Takes a village,
and we are that village, man. So I gotta shout out Echo. Gotta shout out Echo real quick. I gotta shout out Chuck the plug, right? And Mama Didi. Gotta shout out Mama Didi.
Mama Didi.
Shout out Mama Didi. And then everybody else that's down with the movement, you already know. Trey Mack, and I gotta shout out Trey Mack for the
Trey Mack is in the building. Will's in the building too. We gotta shout out Will.
Will's in the building. And I gotta shout out you, Brian, for doing this, man.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate the plug.
Check this out. When no one ain't believe me, it was Mama Didi.
Hey.
You feel what I'm saying?
Hey. He might have to give you some balls before we tap out, though.
Hey.
You already know, man. You already know, man.
Word.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man. This is part of my work, the merch too.
Yeah.
Boom. See the 3 birds, the 3 vultures.
Yeah. I saw that. I see that.
Yeah.
And then the back of it.
See no, hear no.
There we go.
Speak no.
See no, hear no, speak no evil.
Yeah, you see that.
What I'm saying?
You see that when you see the rest of the clothing line, man, you're gonna be, yeah.
And then,
wait a minute.
Just so you understand what DeMarr was talking about.
Oh, the bite, yeah.
Here's the bite.
Yeah.
Bird and Triangle exclusives.
Yes, sir.
The name of the store is called the Merchant's Bite.
Merchant's Store. So yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because I'm gonna tell you what, the music is different. The music is gonna hit different, and everything he's talking about. Let me just tell you, this young man, that's Siahlaw. I've been rocking with him for a long time, and I was an MC myself. I still am an MC. I'll still give you 16 of the coldest bars real quick. But long story short, that brother right there, he has been instrumental in me stepping back into the music world and getting that passion back for the music. Like, it got to a point where, you know, life happens and my life is going a different direction, and I'm like, damn, I spent all those years grinding with the music and just for nothing. And now this is giving me that fire to get back into it, and I love it even more because the position I'm playing, it's built for me. And talk about God, everything happens for a reason. And he put me right back in position with my brother who I used to do music with, and just stayed with it and stayed grinding, went through his thing, did a bid, came home, back to the grinding, and now we link back up.
Did another bid, came home.
Yeah, we didn't even get to that part of the story.
We bumped our head a few times.
Yeah.
We bumped our head a few times, but they say there's a saying, 23-1, right? They lock you in 23 hours a day. You got 1 hour to shit, shower, and shave, right? 23 hours a day. If you don't know who you are, you're gonna find out who you are.
Factual.
And I'll tell you that, being locked up, I came face to face with God, and that's what happened was. Now I grew up in the church, like I said. When I was locked up, I read the Bible from front to back twice, right? And there were certain things in there that I'm just like, I don't know if people know if this is in here. You feel what I'm saying? So my thing is, again, like DeMarr said, with religion and all of that, we're spiritual people. They gave us religion to separate us. It's sort of like gangs. Like, you got Catholics, they're wrong. You got Christians that say the Muslims are wrong. You got this one saying that, and so at the end of the day, we do spirituality. You feel what I'm saying? My thing is, the higher power. If you don't know the higher power, it will reveal itself to you. You feel what I'm saying?
Ooh, boy.
And when I was behind that wall, I came face to face with the higher power, and it was on some. What are you gonna do? Where you gonna go? Because guess what? The power of life and death is in the tongue.
Preach.
This is why a lot of rappers are. Oh, this guy predicted his own death. No, he brought that forth. You feel what I'm saying? The energy you put out comes right back. It has no choice but to return to sender.
A
You
man
feel what I'm
think
saying?
what a man thinketh.
That's it. So a man thinketh, so is he. Right? So that's why when and not to even bring the brother into it, but when that interviewer asked Kanye, who you think you are, he said, I told you who I was. I'm God. People didn't like that because they didn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
But that very Bible that they read told that brother that. Other people are like, nah, he didn't mean it like that. You could take it like that. Where you got a million people, you got a million different ways to read the same scripture. It's a fact.
That's a fact.
So if and one other thing I want to say, if you don't go within, you go without. Everything that you need, he gave you. He gave you, she gave you, it gave you.
That's a bar.
Everything you need. If you don't go within, you go without. And that's facts.
Factual.
It's facts. You feel what I'm saying? That voice inside of you, that's telling you what to do, what not to do. Yeah, that's that thing they call God. You feel what I'm saying? You follow it. A lot of people can't follow their own spirit. You feel what I'm saying? People say, if you can control a man that can control his belly and underneath can control the world. This is why they hit you with all that food porn. This is why they hit you with sexual porn. It's because if they could get you loose on your bottom, you'll never reach the top. That's a fact.
The belly and underneath is crazy.
Word.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
That's what's up, man. Man, I'm enjoying this, man. Let's keep on moving with your story.
Let's go.
All right.
Where you at with it?
So I stopped you when you were right in the midst of taking these steps going north in regards to, the crime and things of that nature. I asked you to get into the music. So let's go with the crime. You mentioned you did a little time. Talk to me about that. What led up to it and how you ended up there.
All right. What led up to it was me not understanding the obstacles put in front of us was not meant to move us forward. It's meant to hold us back. So I call it monopoly money. You know what I'm saying? All of us is the trenches are entrenched with monopoly money, meaning you're gonna go stack it all up. The boys are gonna let you stack it all up. Then they're gonna send their little squad to come get you. They're gonna raid your joint. I've been raided twice. I know what I'm talking about. They're gonna come raid your joint, and the monopoly money you got stacked up, they're gonna take that, right? They're gonna slap you on your ass. You're gonna go behind the wall, and then guess what? In order for you to eat properly behind the walls, you're gonna spend around 5,000 too, or your folks are gonna spend around 5,000 to feed you properly. Other than that, you're gonna get one sandwich to feed a grown man. Maybe get four to six string beans and the milk or juice that they got. They got this juice inside jail that has skull and bones on it, and they feed that to brothers in the joint. The juice has skull and bones on it. I'm gonna repeat that. The juice has a skull and bones on the label of it. Obviously, that's poison, right?
Yeah.
So, in order for you to eat properly behind that wall, where you're satisfied as a grown man, it's gonna take around 5,000. You could do it with less, if and that's if the Most High bless your folks where they're looking out for you. But for these brothers that are indigent, that have nothing, that have nobody looking out for them, yeah, them brothers is getting one sandwich. You're getting 2 eggs in the morning, It's not right. The brothers in there are not eating right. You feel what I'm saying? And then never mind the mental health. So I'm gonna tell you this. This is a story I'll tell you. Like I said, I've been through it.
Keep talking. I gotta turn this heat up.
Yep. So when you go in, they do a mental health check, so to speak. They do a psychology test on you, right?
Yep.
So they say if you do a year or more, they're gonna if you get a year or more time, they're gonna test you on a psychology test. You know what I'm saying? Now they do that to everybody across the board. You get tested before you get tested when you come in, and then you get tested right before you go out.
Wow.
Right. So, like I was saying to DeMarr, you get tested. You get a psychology test. Yeah. So you get tested when you go in, and you get tested when you come out. The lady told me, that lady that tested me, she said, in all the years I've been doing this, you tested the same when you came in as when you're going out. So you want to talk about the power of God is when you learn who you are and you act accordingly on that. You don't step outside of that. You keep your mind, like I read over 200 books when I was locked up. You feel what I'm saying? Keeping my mind sharp, because I understood you could lock my body, but you can't lock my crown. You feel what I'm saying?
Lock my body, can't trap my mind.
Well, hey, there you go.
Understand why I adapt to crime.
Yeah, that's a fact. You feel what I'm saying? So, on that part of my journey, I was in there. I was writing, because at the time I could write a lot of verses, but I couldn't write songs. I wasn't really good at writing songs. So in there, I took a whole year to write just hooks.
Okay.
So I wasn't writing no verses, just hooks. Liked some of them, scrapped some of them, and came up with a certain formula for the hooks. Boom. So that first year I did all hooks. After that, I was like, all right, now I got to craft the whole concept of a song. Boom. Did that. I had this, when I came home, I had wrote this whole project called No More Mr. Nice Guy. Because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come out. I'm going at this music thing full fledged. So I tell my partner Randy, yo, yeah, I need some beats, because I wrote like 2 albums in there.
Oh.
He's like, what?
How much time was this?
Huh?
How much time was this? How much time is transpiring?
So this was, we'll say, between the time of 04 to 07.
Okay, 3 years.
Yeah. Went in 23, came out 26. Went back in 26 to 27. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So all that transpired, right? First time I got locked up was for drugs. Next time I got locked up was for non-registered firearm, right? I beat the firearm. So while I was in for the firearm, I asked and I prayed. I said, give me something more than myself to love. Just because I felt like it'd keep me on what they call the straight and narrow. You feel what I'm saying? So I came home 07, went back in, came back out. My partner Randy bailed me out, moved me in with him.
Salute to Rand.
Yep. Him and I had a friend of mine, Marcy. Him and Marcy, because Marcy, my mom's pitched in, Marcy pitched in, and Randy. So they came, bailed me out. Boom, I get out. Then I reconnected, not even reconnected, because me and my wife now, we knew each other, but we wasn't really connected. She had a boyfriend at the time, but when I came home, we ran back into each other. Long story short, we connected. We've been together 16 years now, married for 6, got 2 beautiful children. With, so right now my life is exactly what I seen and what I needed. You feel what I'm saying? Like that woman saved my life.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are with the music. We connect with DeMarr, Chauncey. DeMarr says, yo, my mom believes. My mother believes in what we're doing. She believes in it. She gonna put some bread together because she believes in what we're doing. She's trying to invest in what we're doing. So I said, damn, boom, that happens. He gets plugged in with a publicist from Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas puts DeMarr onto a publicist. Boom.
Shout
We
out
get
to
the publicist.
moms. Shout out to
Shout out
moms
to
and Joyner.
Shout out Mama Didi. Shout out Joyner.
Yes, sir.
And shout out Echo, right?
Echo.
Boom. Now a situation happens where I have to go to Cali. One of my people's, The Rock, said, I got an opportunity for you for this TV show. I need you out in Cali. I'm gonna plug you in with people at the TV show to be with a legend. Can't say who the legend is.
Shout out to Rock.
Shout out to Rock. Get out there. We do it. It's a movie. Movie. Nothing short of a movie. Boom. Run into good brother Chuck. Now, Chuck is doing some things in the game that he's managing. At the time, he's just vibing with the brothers. He's just vibing.
Yes, sir.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, dude was like, I got a brother here that you might want to talk to. And I didn't know it was Chuck. Boom. Now out of the LA situation, we meet my now manager. You feel what I'm saying?
Chuck the plug.
Chuck the plug. Now we about to be up and stuck.
Chuck the plug is from Chicago.
He's from the Shy.
Yes. True story.
From the Shy.
True story.
You know what I'm saying? So everything's just coming full circle, man. It's a beautiful thing. Again, Brian, I definitely appreciate being on your platform.
Appreciate you guys, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this one thing before we wrap up, and maybe Saya can give us a few bars. Who knows? We'll see. But when me and Saya reconnected, I'm in the gym now. I'm a family of basketball. My kids play high level basketball. One's a pro, one's in college, blase, right? I'm in the gym, I'm refereeing because I'm always around ball or music or both. And Saya's son is at an AAU game. He's playing. So when I'm reffing, I see a New Bedford team walk in the gym, and I'm like, yo, what's good? Because it's home base for me.
Right.
And I didn't see Saya right away, but I seen Little Man. So I'm like, yo, what's good? What's good? Knew the coaches, all that. And I'm reffing during halftime. I looked in the crowd. I seen Saya down there. So I walked up to him. Peace, how you? What's going on with the music? Right away. Right? He's like, yo, everything's good. I'm grinding. I'm like, what you need? What can I do? What can I do to help? Like, what you lacking? What's going on? He was like, management. I'm like, yo, I don't really know nothing about management, but I'm gonna go 1,010% for you. So let's do it. And he was like, let's do it. It was like no thought process in it. And so that was my initial placement with Saya, the management, right? But now where we're at, that wasn't my thing though. And it was something I was just trying to do. And an MC of his caliber, he really needs the people in the right position. So now, back to what he was saying, just making sense of that. The label, once the way I was moving, how I was moving, and using all of my music connects that I had throughout the years that I thought was for nothing, it's all making sense now. I'm tying in like here, and giving Saya whatever I had, this, connect this, whatever I had, I was trying to put it on the table. But like I said, the management wasn't my play. So then that's how I became COO, because he was like, yo, I like your moving and shaking. I want you to rock with me over on this side. So then, long story short, I tapped back in. Me and Joyner, I knew Joyner when he was young, you know what I'm saying? And we reconnected. And when I hit him up, I was like, yo, I got my guy. He's really, really fire. We need this play. What would you do in this sense? Like, what was your play? Because he made it. Joyner made it. So I'm like, what was your play at this point where we're at? And he was like, a publicist. He's like, you need a publicist. I was like, let me get one. Who you got? Who you got? Throw me something. Throw me a oop. Right? So he threw us a oop. That's how we got with Echo. Then when we went out to Cali, like he just said, when we got with Echo out in Cali, she plugged and played us, because we was going out there anyway before we got with Echo.
Echo is a woman?
Huh?
Echo's a woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is she from Illinois?
She from Memphis, I want to say. Yes, Saya? Is she from Memphis originally?
Yeah.
She had
Did
to
you
go
go
to Memphis.
to SIU?
She may have.
I think I know her.
She may have. I'm not positive about that. Don't quote me. But she's living in Cali now. But long story short, when we went out there, we said we got to maximize this trip. And Echo, sure enough, maximize
the trip.
this
That's a
trip.
fact.
We ended up in Sirius XM, DJ Who Kid, Eric Bellinger. Shout out to them. Like, it was a movie. When he says it was a movie, it was a movie. And we got with a couple legends out there who, like Saya said, we can't name. But right now, the team is in place.
I know her.
The team is in. Oh yeah, you know what the funny thing is about you knowing her? I'm not surprised, because everybody knows Echo.
Yes.
Everybody.
When she walked in the building,
my partner said, yeah, she went to Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois. Yep, you was right. And
I'm like, wait a minute. There ain't a lot of Echoes out there.
That's Echo.
Yeah, that's a fact.
When she walked into the set, it was like the energy shifted.
That's
Everybody in the place.
Everybody knew her.
Yeah,
Everybody knew her.
It's different. It's different. So
Yo,
that's
beautiful sister.
That's
Beautiful
my side.
sister, bro.
That's my side of that part of me, Saya. That's my side of the story that Saya was just telling you about, how that got to there. That's my side of it. That's my angle, because when everybody got different angles to the same story, right? So that was just my angle, and I had to let that off my chest.
But
wow,
yes, sir.
Crazy. The world gets smaller every day, man.
Sure enough.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know her intimately. I know her through somebody. But
Look at that.
Echo. I'm like, wait a minute. And then I'm like, wow, when you first said it, I was like, Echo. I'm thinking it's a man.
Yeah.
Like,
we kept echoing Echo, huh?
Right. And I'm like,
Echo in my headset and notify my publicist. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how that story played out.
The person
you're the first one to get this story.
He was talking to me today.
That's crazy.
Who was that?
The dude I know her through called me today.
Wow.
The energy is different, bro.
Yeah, man.
You're the first one to get this story, bro.
Man, I'm good. Hey, man, thank God, man. Thank God.
Word. It's a fact.
Sir.
But okay, man, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
We hoping to get a couple bars about you.
You wanna literally wrap it up, Si?
All right, what you need? You want something?
Hey man, let me get a little.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
They said to expand your turf, gotta plan it first. The rules is ill. Big shoes to fill. Understand your worth. When you get bigger than the set, you're gonna land in dirt. I appear much higher than the sun over planet Earth. So follow my leader, swallow a hollow tip. On my dick, they had to keep bobbling. She gonna follow it. You know the motto, they rather fuck with a motto, bitch. Honestly, I embody on policy over politics. It's a little piece.
Something light.
It's something like.
The album is coming. The single, Ilion. Go ahead.
Yeah. Nah. Ilion's coming. We got a few.
Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
What?
I thought you had something
More
else.
stripes than a Bengal, and I bite hard. Cover my body with tattoos that are like scars. It hit different than click when I write bars. You with that thing, you don't trip, bitch. I'm a lifeguard. That's it. But yeah, we got a few joints coming out. We
Yes,
got a
sir.
few. We got a single coming out called Ilion, produced by King Johannes. I got an EP coming out, produced
Shout
solely
out.
by King Johannes. I
Shout
got
out.
an album coming out with my partner Ran on the beat. We
Yes,
got a
sir.
few other people on that project. I got
Yes,
a
sir.
project coming out with my man Scott King.
Shout out Scott.
Yo, we got some things we shaking and moving. You feel what I'm saying?
Man.
Also, I got two movies that I'm in coming out this year, produced by William, my man Big
Will
Will
Coggins.
Coggins,
Yo.
and his partner Omar Salgado.
Yes, sir.
We doing some things. You feel what I'm saying?
A lot of things in the chamber. Yo,
A
listen.
lot of things.
He you might not know this guy right now, but he's the hardest working man that you about to know, man. So
That's a fact.
Siahlaw, Lifeguard, Bite, the Merchants,
Winter
right?
Prize.
Also
We in
Enterprise.
there. West Side Aristocrat.
We come.
United Front Project. United Front Boy, baby.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what it is.
What's up, man? Man, I
Yo,
thank
big
you guys.
love, bro.
Man, thank y'all for the love, man. Because like I said, man, my goal is to bring us together. Like
Yes, sir.
we talked about your community. I want to make this a nationwide community because it's enough of us here in this country that look like us, and even the people who don't look like us that think like us, that we don't need the big machine. People need, like you said, God, family, money. If we put God first, then our family, the money will come. If we and then we talked about the family that is biological, the family that is communal, and then we got this family that we're gonna start right here. I keep telling people, man, Bill Cosby. People say what you want to say about Bill Cosby. That's your business. That's his business, whatever he got into. But, you know, I'm a chew, to quote Karen Hunter, I'm a chew up the meat, spit out the bones kind of guy. What I mean by that is this. I can watch Bill Cosby. I can listen to Bill Cosby, listen to his jokes. I can watch the Cosby Show. I can watch Different World. Take what I need, and whatever he did in his personal life, that's his personal life.
Right.
He said he told Joan Rivers this. He told Joan Rivers this back in the 60s when she was just starting. She had just bombed. Worst night of her life. He stepped to her. He said, your stuff is funny. All you need is 1/2 of 1% of the world to pay attention to you. You'll be better off than you ever thought. It is 45 to 50 documented Black people in this country. I believe it's more like 65 million of us because we don't do the census thing.
Fact.
Definitely.
If we could get 1/2 of 1% of the Black community to buy all of your gear, we don't need no producers of movies. We don't need no producers of records.
None of that.
Radio stations. Let's not forget, me and DeJuan come from the time where NWA went platinum without one song on the radio. See, this is why they tell you DeJuan is the best thing ever. We never seen nothing like DeJuan because they don't want you to go see you. They don't want you to come. Oh, we've never seen any interviewer like Oprah Winfrey because they don't want you to tune in to the end of the bench. Because if we keep telling you to look there, you never look back. It's a thing in African culture called Sankofa. It's a bird facing this way with an egg in its mouth looking that way. Pay attention to your past so you'll know where you are so you can go to the future.
Nice.
And that's what we're going to do right here, man.
End of the bench.
Yo.
Anybody who you know who has a story, y'all have my math.
Yes, sir.
Give it to them. Text. All you have to do is text one of you guys' name. Text Trey Mack name. They told me to call you. You on. Because I do another show about community empowerment on Tuesday. But if I can get all of us to continue to subscribe, continue to come on. Look, I ain't knocking nobody's platform, but I ain't here with the chaos. I don't know gotcha moments. I don't want to hear about the time this MC bitch your lyrics or this dude said this and that. Guess what? We got a story. Everybody in the history world got a story about somebody screwing them over. Everybody got that story. So that ain't new. But you know what is new? How many times have you tuned into a podcast and somebody told you, my community had laws so you couldn't destroy it. We created crews so we wouldn't have gangs. Like me and Trey Mack, we come from a community. Trey Mack did it with TSP. Me and my guy June and Shorty, they did it with DOM. And it's just a bunch of crews. DOM and TSP had people from all over the city of Chicago. Chicago is segregated, whether it be it's racial, it's cultural, and then it's directional. We have people on the west side. I'm gonna go to school. Me and Trey Mack live on the north side of Chicago. Trey Mack went to school on the northwest side of Chicago. I went on the west side of Chicago. I'm talking to my main man, Alex. I've been knowing him. This year will be 40 years I've been knowing him. One day we just chopping it up, and he going, yeah, man, blah, 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 TSP. And I'm like, yeah, they got y'all fake. I don't even know he know Trey Mack. D Most. I'm hanging out with this dude, D Most from the west side. I ain't putting 2 and 2 together. D Most at school with my man Trey Mack. Didn't know it.
Wow.
Didn't know it. I just know D Most from Alex, and they telling me about what I perceive as a fake TSP. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear that, man. These guys are my guys. So if we can bring the west side, the north side, the south side of Chicago together, we can bring the northeast part of this country, the southeast part of this country, the Midwest, the South, the West, the Southwest, all over this country with us and get us to support us. And then we ain't got to ask anyone for anything at any time.
Brick by brick, bro.
That's a fact, man. And ironically, the lady who I just quoted, Karen Hunter, that's what she says when she starts her show. What does your brick represent?
Nice.
She say that every day. We've been building this community brick by brick. So cats like you, anybody, man, just tell them, text me. You got my map. Told me to call.
I got you.
All it takes.
I got you.
That's all it takes.
I love your mind. If you don't mind, I want to say one thing before we end. I love your mind, first of all.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that, man, because Black men are geniuses, man, and we gotta speak intelligently on things that we know and show them that we are intelligent and we do know a lot and we can come together and make a change, even if it's a small change. It matters. But I want to say this. I told the few times I chimed in, I did speak about my mother, Dee Dee, right? And I said she was a booster in the neighborhood. She went to jail. I moved out here to Worcester because she went to jail and came out to rehab because she was lost in the streets and drugs and all of that. But then you heard Saya say she invested in our business, right? I'm going to tell you a little success story real quick. She invested in our business. Not only did she invest in our business, she changed her whole life around. She's affecting the community in a large way with the children. This is what I'm telling. This is what I'm getting at. This is who I'm going to have call you, right? She's affecting the community in a large way. She just wrote a book called Breaking Cycles. And that's what she's doing. So that's my inspiration. That's why I do what I do. And it's about family. You know what I'm saying? I got my family and it's family first. And Saya is my family. And Brian, you family right now. This is what we're about. And life gods, baby.
Yo,
what's up, man.
My team is riding with me, and it's off of GP. When no one ain't believe me, it was Mama Didi.
Yeah, man.
That's a fact.
That's what love. Respect to you, brothers, man. And
love.
Man, I feel good. I'm excited.
Yes,
I knew this was gonna be an awesome situation. I've been thinking about this since me and you touched bases a few weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one. I knew we were gonna have a good vibe, man. Thank you guys for coming on, man. God
shout
bless
out to Trey Mack on the connection,
man. Trey Mack told me about you.
Appreciate y'all.
Yo, big love, man.
To the end of the bench family, tap in with us. One love from the lifeguards.
Man, thank you, man. Peace. Man, I
Peace.
see you guys. I see you guys Monday on the forecast where we review movies from a Black perspective. We do one movie a week. This week we're gonna do Monday. Tap in to the End of the Bench or BS3 Network. We connected. We sister networks. They in Texas. I'm in Illinois. Man, we're gonna continue to do this. We're doing the Freaknik documentary this week. And anytime you got any projects coming on, man, I will cut you into the Tuesday show, or we can come back and do another one of these. It don't make me a difference.
Let's get to it.
If you want to do something on another day, you call me. B, I need. I'm coming. We're gonna do it, and it's on.
We in there.
Sir.
Salute to my brothers, man. Peace. God bless everybody. Thank you for tapping in. Subscribe. Tell a friend to tune in. This hRap B. This the end of the bench. This is Rapping with hRap. See y'all soon. And this, I'm gonna show y'all this. This is my man Big Mo. He's my business partner. We do Park Bench Media. He in Tiger Park, South Carolina. I'm from Chicago. He do that. He shut me down every week. Mo, we out.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes, now his people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him 2 to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children. All our leaders is slain. It's all a game.